How it all started, I guess, was that I have always been thinking about how do we grow our leaders.
We began with a conversation around what would it look like to develop leadership, to add some depth of leadership in the organisation.
We constructed the framework and an opportunity was put forward to my staff.
These are people who have 1 foot in the classroom and potentially 1 foot at the leadership table. So their position is really important.
Being included in the Emerging Leaders program, I was excited about the opportunity.
Coming into the Emerging Leaders program, I wasn't really sure what to expect. My hopes or my goals were to improve my own skill and find a bit of a passion for a certain area of leadership.
I think at the start it was just a great opportunity to go on a journey of exploration. It was more just a great opportunity in a safe space to really learn about myself and learn about what leadership might look like for me.
I came to a point where I was teaching for 4 years and thought, what's next for me? And when this popped up, I thought that definitely had my name written on it.
The structure of the project, it was built around a model which I've created, the authentic leader model. And right at the heart of that model is this idea of sacred ground. And sacred ground for the individual leader is the collection of tools, experiences, knowledge, wisdom, understanding that allows them to lead with grounded confidence.
From my point of view, it's exceeded all expectations. It's been very enriching, very rewarding. I know that the people involved in the program have got a lot out of it. I certainly have, in terms of connectivity, learning, and allowing people just to be themselves. They've been able to express themselves, elements of vulnerability have come through in conversations, and a lot of learning and growing.
It's also been a very reaffirming process, and we've certainly uplifted one another throughout the journey. And I think the support that we give one another in this context in Emerging Leaders has certainly translated to the school setting, to the everyday setting where we support one another and encourage one another. We certainly feel very, I suppose, united on the journey.
Once upon a time, we used to think that those skills like compassion and empathy, that these were, remember we used to call them soft skills, but actually they're the hardest. Vulnerability, someone we referenced a lot throughout the learning was Brené Brown, and she says there's no vulnerability without courage.
As the sessions have gone along, you learn that in order to be a leader, you have to learn about yourself first and foremost. And that's been the greatest part of it, is the personal development, and the professional development has come from learning about ourselves.
I think you can't lead people effectively unless you know yourself, and this has been a really good opportunity to get to know who you are, what kind of leader you want to be, and have that safe space to reflect on where you see yourself in a professional position of leadership.
It's that learning of me and for me, which is really, really powerful and a privilege to be a part of, because this is quite rare and unique, and I'm very, very privileged to be a part of it.
In a practical sense, it's pushed me to find new opportunities at school, to put myself forward for things, to share my ideas, when before I might not have had the confidence to do that.
Walking out of our days with Emerging Leaders, you build this renewed sense of confidence and belief that, you know what, yes, it is challenging, however, I'm going to work on my strengths to somehow combat those blind spots and somehow make a difference to my growth and my learning journey.
The feelings that keep arising are gratitude and humility, and I'm humbled by the amount of real intention that they've put into this. They've just jumped in, boots and all, and they've got the rewards, I think, at the end of it. But so have I. And so to look back and to look at them now, I'm really proud of them. What's been unique about this, I think, is that Along with the emerging leaders who've been part of the project, we've had the principal come along to every single session, and that's got to bode well for the school as well, I think, and for them as leaders into the future.
I actually said to Katrina this morning that yes, it's an emerging leaders project, but it could be called a life project in many respects.
At first you could feel that sense of cautiousness, and we were all very vulnerable, but at the end there was so much trust and respect and love that we just felt it in the room. And when we try and describe this to somebody else, you're not able to articulate what it feels like, because that energy within was just so electrifying.
And I'm excited about the effects, the ripple effects that will come from what they'll now go out into the world and do back into their school and out into the world.